Truth over fear, guys. Truth is simple. It's the lies that get complicated. Let's get out of our cognitive dissonance and stop believing in religions and make truth the only religion. The real Christ and the Antichrist. Numerology is a form of relational thinking that can be used to illustrate conceptual ideas. Applying this relational thinking can allow the concept to open in a deeper understanding. Symbolism, allegory, and metaphor can also serve this purpose. A good example of this numerological relation thinking can be found in New Testament book of Revelation in the form of verse. Let he who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. Now let's explore what this actually means in context. It is a mistranslation to translate that as a number of a man. That is not the term in Hebrew. Number of man, mankind, meaning of humanity. So what is the number of humanity? What do they mean by that? Let's explore what this actually means in context. In esoteric numerology, three numbers are often studied in relation to each other because of the concepts they have been selected to represent. Understanding this relationship can help to open up a conceptual understanding of such a biblical verse, and therefore to understand what it is meant by the Antichrist. So to understand the number 666 in the book of Revelation, you have to understand it in relationship to other numerological, conditional, conceptual numbers. You have to understand it in relationship to 777 and in relationship to 888. In ancient numerological systems, the number 666 was chosen to represent humanity in a state of low consciousness. This represents the beast or an antichrist mentality, the opposite of Christ consciousness. Pure physical identification, no spirituality, and pure selfishness, dwelling in ignorance, dwelling in non-action and cowardice. That's the 666 representation, failure of the three aspects of consciousness. And that's what these numbers represent. They're all trinities. They represent the trinities inside of us, the thoughts, emotions, actions. That's why they're all trinities. The 666, the 777, and the 888. You're taking the 888 as the divine trinity. Perfection, which man will never arrive at. Certainly not in the physical domain. The 777 is the one that stands between God and the beast. The man in as perfected of a state, or at least has developed spiritually of a state that he's gonna reach. This is that Christ consciousness we're talking about. The 777 traditionally represented humanity embodying a higher level consciousness, or Christ consciousness. That is, being in the world, but not of the world. The word Christ is actually derived from the Greek word Christos, meaning morally good, virtuous, and holy. This is why they put 777 on the slot machines in the casinos, because they know how the subconscious mind works, and they know that humanity yearns for that higher level consciousness, or Christ consciousness. Another form of mind control through symbolism. So it's like a proxy for true spirituality, and they know that you'll walk your way towards that machine and put your money into it because that's what you're craving, true spirituality. 888 in true spirituality always represented the threefold infinity: the creator, natural law, and perfection in the absolute. Humanity cannot be the 888, for there is no such thing as perfection in the flesh. But we can become the 777 when we work upon ourselves and purify our thoughts, emotions, and actions. The three aspects of consciousness living within us. When humanity remains spiritually unconscious, They can be said in the numerological tradition to embody the number 666, representing failure in thought, emotion, and action, the three aspects of human consciousness. That is why 666 is considered the number of the beast, the satanic or antichrist consciousness. The people of this world who dwell in ignorance, apathy, laziness, and cowardice are savages or beasts from a true spiritual perspective. And their consciousness essentially exists only in the animal reactive mind. They are the true Antichrist, and their thoughts and behaviors work continually to kill the true Christ consciousness. And this is what is meant in the book of Revelation. He who has knowledge, let him calculate the number of the beast, and that number is of man, or mankind. And that's the consciousness we dwell in the Antichrist consciousness. That's why we're enslaved and not free. But also, in the world, there are people that dwell in the Christ consciousness, but not nearly enough. You know, they're on that path, but the majority of people, or humanity, are still beasts. Christian prophecies foretell of an antichrist, a false impersonator, Christ, who will come and deceive the whole world during the end of days. Understood properly, this concept translates to the people who are falsely claiming to embody Christ and the ideals of Christ. The Antichrist is not one person. The real Antichrist is a way of thinking, feeling, and acting. False modern-day Christianity has brought this massive deception to fruition. Today, the greater body of those who claim to be Christian actually embody the antithesis of Christ's consciousness. So there it is, guys. I wanted to share that with you. Hopefully we can get that information out. Tell me what you think about it. But and we all know who's doing it, and how they're doing it. Like I said, they're controlling the subconscious. They've been doing that for centuries. That's why they show flashes. When people watch TV, they shoot those flashes that your mind can't pick up. Your mind only runs off 24 frames per second, but they throw them in there and it feeds that subconscious mind. And most of it is satanic, or 666 images or sigils that they throw out there. Or like major sports events, you'll see the monster drink, which represents the 666, or just all these different corporate sigils and symbols that they use to to play on our minds and to keep us in that lower state of consciousness, that beast state mentality that they want us in, because we're easier to control, we're easier to enslave. And I just hope that we can transition to that 777 so we can overthrow this cabal and truly free ourselves by staying in accordance with what is right and what is truthful. And so again, guys, thank you. I appreciate you guys. Leave comments, share, like, and I'll be back soon. And remember, guys, truth is simple. It's the lies that get complicated.